Morning. Welcome to the Drew, New Jersey Girls, Junior Girls Lacrosse League, Coaches Clinic. And I'm going to introduce Laura McCarthy, who's going to do the rules portion of the clinic today. I'm Susan Ligner, I'm Education Chair for the League. I'm going to introduce Laura McCarthy, who's going to do the rules portion of our clinic today at Drew. And let me tell you a little bit about Laura. She is a district-rated United States lacrosse official, chapter chair for the Northeast Chapter 2. She's board of directors, New Jersey chapter of U.S. Lacrosse, board of NJJGLL, and president of Caldwell West Colesville Lacrosse Club. So without further ado, let me introduce Laura McCarthy and Tucker White.
Okay, good morning, everybody. Is everybody wide awake this early? Good, because I'm not. All right. First of all, you're all here because why? Because you're youth coaches, right? And most of you are here because you probably have daughters, and they came home and said, I want to play lacrosse, and I can't play unless somebody coaches. So you, like I, had the sucker tattooed on your head when you were born, and they can see it when they put a mirror up to your head, and you volunteered to do it. It's a great thing that you're doing, and it's also a great thing that you're here, because if you want to do something, you should always do it right, and doing it right means that you want to learn the rules of the game that you were coaching. When you came in, there was rule books if nobody owned one. If you don't recognize this, this is the U.S. Lacrosse 210 rule book. What's cool about this rule book, if you notice, what's on the cover? Besides two girls, they're playing youth lacrosse. Oops, there goes my cards. All right, which is pretty cool, because usually on the cover you have a high school players or post-collegiate players. This year we have youth lacrosse players on the cover. You should all obtain one of these, however you want to do that, and read it. Front to back, whether you read it before or not. I read mine every year, and I've been doing this for 24 years. When I first started, this rule book probably had about 10 pages in it, back in the olden days. Now it has a lot more. You should really take it in, and you should really read it. I had another set of rules, just for the fun of it, that we throw out at you, are our league guidelines and rules. All right, everybody should have gotten a memo from our education chair 3, 4, 5 times to go online and print this out and bring it with you. Does it look familiar? If you don't have it with you today, please, when you get home, go online, print it out, and read it. It's a very good read. We take a lot of time, sit in our meetings to make sure that this piece of papers, is what it needs to be. But if you don't read it, it doesn't do anybody any good. So if you don't follow the philosophy of the league, it doesn't do anybody any good. All right? Now, what is the league philosophy? Basically, this is a league that is put together for girls, grades 3 to 8th grade, to learn and enjoy the game of women's lacrosse. You notice today I will be saying women's lacrosse instead of just lacrosse, because women's lacrosse is a game unique unto itself, where yes, lacrosse is a game, men play lacrosse, men play men's lacrosse, women play women's lacrosse, girls play girls lacrosse, women's lacrosse. The difference is that our game is a very beautiful, graceful game. It is played with finesse. It is played, it's a gorgeous game. Men's game is the men's game. If you come from the men's side, please do not try to teach the men's game to your girls. It is not the same game. So please read what the women's game is and what it's all about. You can go on uslacrosse.org, go in the women's division. There's a whole thing there about the women's game. We need to keep this game what it is now, if we want to keep the women's game pure and the way we want it to be played. All right, that's my lecture for today. All right? Women's lacrosse is played with a cross. All right? We're going to go back to the league philosophy a little bit. I pound this home every year, and every year we get emails to the sportsmanship person, who Tucker White, to the education chair, to the president, who's Mark Cohen, to me, and we have to deal with the teams aren't playing fair. They're not following the league philosophy. All right? How many people in this room, just by show of hands, have actually read, not even if the new ones, the old ones, read the league philosophy? Okay? Now the rest of you are going to go home and read it, and the ones who just raised their hand, if they haven't read the 210, you're going to read it again. Basically, the philosophy is that we have teams at each age level, 3rd and 4th, 5th and 6th, 7th and 8th. Now we have those teams. Now if you have a very small town, life is easy. You have 20 kids show up, they sign up for your 5th and 6th grade team, there's your 5th and 6th grade team. Can't do anything about it. You have 35 kids show up for your 5th and 6th grade team. Now you got a little bit of problem. You don't have enough for 2 teams, but you have too many for 1 team. So you play what's called squads. Now you get another problem, because now how you can divide up your squads. You're not going to take Susie, Mary, and Lucy, because you guys coach Susie, Mary, and Lucy, who happen to be the best players, and you're going to stick them on the same squad. Not going to happen. You're going to take Susie, she's going to be squad 1, Mary's going to be squad 2, Lucy's going to be squad 3. And then you're going to divide everybody else up equally, as much as you can, as much to their ability. And you put them on teams. Your team, unless you've all been out in the field, your team should not be made up already. Because you haven't seen these kids play. You haven't seen how a child developed from last year. You could have had a child who did clinics all year that wasn't that good last year and all of a sudden is good this year. So you really need to take this seriously and divide your teams up as best to your ability as you can. Now you come to the program who has 100,000 kids who sign up. They're going to have 2, 3, 4 teams at each age level. The same thing. You have to stress to your parents that I know that her best friend is so-and-so. Kids tend to hang out with kids who are to their ability. It's just the way it works out. I have a boy. All his friends play lacrosse. All his friends are pretty good lacrosse players. You have a girl. If they all play lacrosse, chances are they're all going to be pretty good. That doesn't mean they need to be on the same team. You need to divide your teams up equally, as much as you can. Season comes along and you're playing 2 or 3 games and you realize that your goal team is killing everybody. And your blue team, not so much. Maybe they're getting killed. You need to take a step back and redivide those teams. How are you going to do this? How are you going to get away with parents? I know I run a program. I know parents can be a little bit of a pain once things get settled in their brain. You're going to tell them in the beginning at your parent meeting that, yes, teams will be set, but that doesn't mean they're set for the whole entire year. If you find as the season goes on and your teams are not, for some reason, things happen, that they're not as even as you thought they were, just mix them up. Don't make the girls feel that they are on a team. Make them feel that they play for your program. Kids in my program play for the Colwell West Colwell Lacrosse Club. They don't play for Colwell Blue, Colwell White, Colwell Gold. All right? You have to have them decide that. You have to have them know that from the beginning. This way it's not so upsetting that they think they did something wrong when you're moving them around. All right, now we're going to go with a little bit of the rules. I'm going to have to put this down. Okay, the first thing we're going to talk about is stick length. These 3 sticks are regulation women's lacrosse sticks. What makes it a regulation women's lacrosse stick? The pocket. We're going to talk about the different levels. Level C means that the pocket can be lower than the sidewall. All right?